Today we're going to be taking a look at the SteamCrave Glaz RDSA. This product was sent to me for the purpose of this review, and SteamCrave was also nice enough to send me over a second Glaz RDSA, which I will be doing a giveaway for on my website kimmyvapes.org. So if you're interested in winning your very own Glaz RDSA, go over to kimmyvapes.org and follow the directions there. Let's go ahead, open up this RDSA and see what comes with it. So on SteamCrave's website, they do say that with the Glaz RDSA, you can get both the glass top cap and a metal top cap. Unfortunately, they sent me two glass top caps, which is great. If you break one, you have a spare. But in the case of with their website saying that you can get one metal top cap, which has top airflow as well as the bottom airflow, I was a little disappointed to see that I just had the two glass top caps. So obviously I have the two glass top caps, a black airflow control ring, so if I want to change up the color a little bit, I can put on the black airflow control ring. And then of course we also have the Glaz RDA's build deck here, which is a 31mm build deck, very big atomizer here. And then as far as accessories go, we also have the pretty much typical tri-tool that we see with a lot of products. You do have this little warning card that lets you know not to pulse, glow, or dry fire the coils at a maximum of 25 watts to prevent insulator melting, which is a really nice notice, and there's a good purpose for that notice, which we'll get to. You also do get these little silicone or rubber drip tip sleeves. That's to cover the glass on the top. If you're somebody that doesn't like to put your lips directly on the glass, you can add this little sleeve to the top of it. You also get this accessory bag. Now the accessory bag has a lot of components in it, and it's going to be hard to really name all of them off. You do get all of your normal spares that you would come to expect, which are your post screws, your O-rings. But something that you also get in this bag that I will take out and show here in a little bit is you get a third block. It's a insulated block. It's made of PEEK insulation. And you have this little PEEK insulator portion that you're actually going to place inside the deck to make this a series build deck. So lots of accessories here and important parts that you would not want to lose. In addition to that, you also get a SteamCrave sticker and a SteamCrave user manual for the Glaz RDSA version 1.1. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let's take a closer look at the deck. So here is the Glaz RDSA with the glass top cap on it. Very beautiful. I mean, I do love the aesthetic of how a glass top cap works, and it's just really beautiful and crisp and clean. And taking off that glass top cap, which is held on by O-rings, here we have the build deck, and it is a bottom airflow. So you have an airflow slot on this side as well as an airflow slot on this side. And it's bottom airflow. It comes up through each one of these tubes that you see here on the sides. So you've got this kind of semi-angled tube on this side and angled tube on this side. And it is at a decent pitch there. If I put my screwdriver, there's the angle of that airflow. Here you have 3 post holes on your positive and 3 post holes on your negative. And when I first took a look at this build deck, this is my first big atomizer. It's my first 31mm RDA, and it's my first RDA that included this type of feature. So you have your outer post holes here, which are facing in the direction that you would expect when you drop your coils in. This way they would clamp down on your leads. So you could put a dual coil in this manner here. And then you have these center holes here. These center holes are actually going to be for installing a series block. And we'll go ahead and do that here. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a different tool because the post holes on the side are Allen key. All the way around you have Allen grub screws. So let me go ahead and screw this down on top of something. So I really had to dig around in my collection to find a mod that this atomizer is going to sit halfway decently flush on. It doesn't even sit flush on the V1.1 switcher, which is capable of, I think, up to 29 or 30 millimeters. But even on this one, you can see there's a little bit of overhang on either side. And this is a really big mod. This is probably the biggest as far as the top space that I have. So we're just going to go with it, and we're going to use the V1.1 switcher to hold this RDA. So we're going to go ahead and undo all of our post screws. The machining on this looks really good. All of the threading on the screws are really nice and smooth. Not having any issues there with threading. Go ahead and remove this one. Got a lot of screws to undo here. So the reason why I've got to undo all the screws is because I want to put that series post in there. I have never had an RDA that has a series post. I've done series builds, very few of them, where I take one stick of wire and I make 2 coils on the stick, and then, you know, essentially that's how I would do my series build. This way though, it has a block, which we're going to go ahead and open up our little accessory bag and pull those out. So here are the accessories that I need to be able to put this deck into a series formation. So you have these 2 peak insulator pegs and this block right here. So what we're going to need to do, and I'm probably going to have to use my tweezers, is put those pegs in those top holes. Let me find my tweezers and grab those pegs. Put one, oops, yeah. This is fun. Go ahead and place a peg down in that hole. So I just literally lost the other peak insulator peg. Right as I was trying to install the second one, it flipped out of my tweezers and I tried to trace it across the table and it rolled off the table. And guess what? Of all the accessories they include, I mean, I have spare post screws for every one of these, including different color post screws. So not only did they include spares, but they included different colors of the spare post screws, but they did not include spare pegs. And I'm so disappointed in that, because of all the tiny little pieces. The post screws, I'm not removing them all the way out of the post. So the likelihood of me losing 6 post screws, it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to lose 6 post screws. So they included, it looks like there's 12 post screws in there. But they didn't include spares of these little peak inserts. And without this peak insert, I cannot put this in series mode. So a big con and big fail on SteamCrave for not including extra ones of those. Because with these, I'm actually taking them out of a little baggie and having to install them. And that just makes it really likely that I'm going to drop one, which I did. Now, what I can do, lucky enough, I do have a second one that I have to give away. So I could open up that box and pull another one out and finish building this in series mode, but I really don't want to open a package that I plan on giving away. I rather that person get the contents that, you know, haven't been opened and haven't been touched. So we're not going to get to build this in series mode. I'm just going to build it in regular dual coil mode, and I'm really disappointed by that. So the coils I'm going to be using are some Vapaholics Anonymous Aliens. So these are going to be very low ohm aliens. They are some big, beefier coils that I'm going to be putting in here. I feel like with a 31 millimeter RDA, putting in big coils just seems like the right thing to do. So I am going to need to measure out, obviously. I am going to have to cut my leads. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop them down there and see right about where I need to clip them. Alright, so it looks like on a coily tool, that's going to be probably about a 4. I'm going to go ahead and clip it Actually, we're going to go ahead and use the coily tool, and I'm going to start with clipping my leads at 4.5 millimeters, and we'll see where that goes. Okay, so I went ahead and clipped my coils at 4.5 millimeter leg length. Let's go ahead and place them in those holes and see how they sit. Now, these holes are spaced really far apart, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just space my coil. Okay, so I got one spaced alien here. And then I'm going to go ahead and space the next one. And space the other one. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop that down in there. We're going to see where those sit. So these are sitting up way too high still, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and clip them again. And I'm going to clip them at a 3.5 is what I'm going to go ahead and clip them at. Right, so I went ahead and clipped my leads at a 3.5, and those sit much lower. I would say 3.5 is too short. So I would say when clipping your leads, if you're using a coily tool, clip your leads at a 4 millimeter, and you should be good that way. So now I'm just going to go ahead and hold these down and tighten them. One positive thing that I can say is at least the screws are going into the wire in the correct direction. They're going to the flat side of the wire. So you don't have to worry about, if you're just putting this in regular dual coil mode, you do not have to worry about it warping your leads. It does screw into the flat part there. Alright, so everything's tightened down. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my coiling jig here and just try to pull my coils up a little bit and over top of that airflow. Same thing on this side, pull them over and on top of that airflow. So here we go, that's what the build looks like. That's what it looks like sitting over top of that airflow. Like I said, I wish I would have left those leads just about 0.5 millimeter longer. I think 4 millimeters on the coily tool would have been perfect for this. But this is going to work. I just had to really pull my coils pretty hard out to get them there, which means that the inner diameter is going to be a little bit smaller than 3 millimeters. That's what it looks like from the top. Let's go ahead and dry fire these coils. So we're going to go ahead and bring this all the way down to what they recommended, 25 watts, so we don't melt any peak insulators or anything. And prior to dry firing, this build is coming out to a 0.12. Now these are spaced, so I won't have any hot spots or anything like that. I'm just going to gently pulse them to get them glowing evenly. So there we go. We got some beautiful rainbow colors coming off of that Nichrome 90 that Mitch Green uses. Again, those are going to be some triple 26 gauge aliens. Coming out to after dry firing is going to be a 0.13, so that's what we're running with, is a 0.13 dual coil build. Go ahead and wick these up real quick. Pull it through. There you go. Work it. Work it. Come on. Come on. Get on through there. See, this is what I didn't like about having to pull my coils so tight, because the diameter of the coil is off now, so they're not going to want to thread up as easily here. There we go. So pull that through. This cotton is really tight in this coil, which is how I like it. I like my cotton to be really tight in my coils. It's still not so tight that it's like moving my coil or warping my coil or anything like that. So I'm safe in that aspect. There we go. Wicked up. And we can go ahead and clip our wicks. And I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lift that wick up, look at where the edge of that deck comes from, and go ahead and give them a snip. Same thing on this side. My scissors are getting dull. And really, because this is an RDA, I'm not really too worried about combing out my cotton, because it's an RDA, so I'm going to be dripping. Squonking if I wanted to, but mostly I'm just going to be dripping here, so don't really need to comb out my cotton. Just go ahead and trim off all those excess fibers. And then we can tuck our cotton right down in here into this little well. And I could have left those wicks a little bit longer if I wanted. There's plenty of room down in that well for your wicks. So you can really just kind of haphazardly stuff them in there. If my tweezers would quit pulling my cotton back out. Ugh, I need new tools, you guys. My tweezers are all dented up so it catches my cotton and pulls my cotton back out. So this is it all wicked up. Now we can go ahead and throw some e-liquid on it. And I'm going to be careful about going over the top of my coils because the top of my coils do sit over top of that airflow. So like what just happened is if you're dripping right on top of your coils, e-liquid can drip right down into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a really nice heavy squeeze down straight into the bottom. See where that e-liquid goes. Do it over the sides here of the cotton. And then I'm going to go ahead and pulse it to get those coils warming up and get that e-liquid going in. And there it is, the Glaz RDSA V1.1. Let's go back up top, have a vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. And that was the up-close look at the SteamCrave Glaz version 1.1 RDA. So what are my thoughts? Well, first thing I'm going to go over the things that I like about the RDA, and then we'll get into the things that I don't like about the RDA. So the first thing that I like about the RDA is the flavor. The flavor on this RDA, it really surprised me how good the flavor was. Now I've got a 0.09 build in here at 84 watts. I'll go ahead and let you take a listen because we're going to go over airflow next. Really nice and quiet, though I must say I detect a little bit of turbulence in the airflow, and it's more so because of the space inside than it is the actual airflow on the bottom. I'm a big fan of bottom airflow, though bottom airflow usually means that it might leak a little bit easier. Bottom airflow always gives me the best flavor, and this one is no exception. The next pro is going to be fit and finish. As far as everything that came was really nice and clean, but I did have some problems with the accessories that were included in that they did not include the metal top cap option. So I actually have 3 glass top caps, which is great because if I drop this one and I break the top cap, I've got 2 spares in the box. But I really wanted to try out the metal top cap and see how that changed the airflow as well as the flavor. So big disappointment that they didn't send over the metal top cap. I don't know if I would really give that a con. It is a disappointment because I would have liked to try that one and been able to better judge because there are some things I don't like about the glass top cap. So first thing I don't usually like about glass top cap RDAs is it just gets really kind of ucky looking. Right now everything is really nice and clean because I had just cleaned and re-wicked this for the video. Prior to me re-wicking this and cleaning it, it was all kind of like brown and yellow and just really ucky looking in there, which the pro of that is when you can see your build, it does make you want to keep your build nice and clean, and it reminds you to change your cotton. So some people might really like that. The next thing with the glass top cap, it does get hot. Like I said, I'm vaping a 0.9 at 84 watts. To a lot of people that would not be very hot, but it is hot for me, and that glass heats up. So I did go ahead and get the silicone rubber sleeve that goes over the top piece, and that does help dissipate and keep the heat off my lips, which I do really like that they include that because it did get too hot for me. The next thing that I don't like about this is going to be the top cap. It comes off super easy. I'm going to try this. This is a super light mod. This is, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I reviewed it forever ago. It's one of those polycarbonate plastic mods. So it's super light. With no batteries in here, it's like lifting air, and even with batteries in it, this mod is super light, and it's a dual battery mod, so not very heavy. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab the top cap and let go. Like, I'm gonna end up dropping the mod if I completely let go. Like, there's no friction whatsoever on these O-rings. This glass, I have actually just bumped it. There it went. Just knocking it with your finger, nothing holds this cap on. It's literally sitting on there. You might as well not have O-rings. That's a big no-no for me, a big con. When you're dealing with RDAs, you want security. You don't want your top cap just to fall off like that willy-nilly. So that really made this RDA unusable for me as far as taking it out of the house, because I'm not going to be able to sit this down. I'm not going to be able to put it in my purse, and I'm definitely not going to put it in my pocket because of that top cap slipping off, which is one of the reasons why I really would have liked to have received the metal top cap so that I could see if that one stayed on better, because if that one is just as loose as this glass one, I would not recommend this RDA. Now, there are things that I can do. I can go ahead and put different O-rings on it, and also I could put some dental floss, and that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take dental floss and slip it underneath these O-rings, because this is the only 31 millimeter RDA that I have, so I don't have any other O-rings that will fit this RDA. So the only way I can fix that is maybe with some dental floss underneath the O-rings. And one more thing that I did forget to mention here, that I did mention in the down low, is those little pegs to put this into series mode. I was really super excited to be able to put the series block in there and show you guys how a series build works. Unfortunately, they do not include any of those little spare peak insulated pegs. So when one rolled off my desk, I tried to find it, I couldn't, so I was not able to utilize the series block. However, they put like 12 extra sets of grub screws in that baggie. So it really disappointed me that they did not include at least one spare peg. So that also gets a really big con from me, that they didn't include at least one extra peg in the case that you drop one and lose it. If you can put spare screws, you could have put a spare peg in there, SteamCrave. So that's my thoughts on the Glaz version 1.1 RDA. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, click that subscribe button. And until next time, bye bye.